So hello everybody, I am Katie from Starlight and I am sitting on our amazing roof terrace that we were very lucky to manifest, and it's where we hold our monthly fire ceremonies, and we had one last night, and this fire ceremony was really beautiful. They're always really beautiful, but this fire ceremony had something really crazy happen during it. We had I'll show you, we had the fire pit in the middle and everybody was sitting around in circle, and at the start of the ceremony the fire had been lit for quite some time, and we'd been talking and doing the opening meditation and things like that, and then I offered some sage for two women who couldn't be there but needed some healing, and they're women that have both in their own way been absolutely essential to my path because of their amazing gifts, and I really felt with all of my heart that I wanted to call them into this ceremony and call them in to this healing. And so I offered sage into the fire, and just as I did, the fire changed colour and at that point it was really subtle, and so the colours that it was changing into were just really subtle greens and purples and blues, and everybody was like, whoa, what is going on? That is crazy. And I confess that I live by miracles. I ask for miracles every day in my life, and I have experienced so many miracles that are undeniable, that are so beautiful and amazing and undeniable, that I was just like, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. I don't know what this is, but it's a miracle. I've never seen anything like this before. The energy of this circle must have created rainbow energy in the fire. And the fire ceremony was a bit unusual for our fire ceremonies, because normally we put them on a full moon or we put them on an equinox or something like that, and this month we couldn't find a date that worked with a moon or a particular festival. And so we plucked the 23rd of April out of our heads, basically, because it was free in our calendar. And we didn't realise, of course, that the 23rd of April is St. George's Day. And St. George is connected to Archangel Michael. His story is said to be symbolic of Michael slaying the dragon, slaying the inner beast within our consciousness. And so the fire ceremony at the very last minute, when I connected that it was St. George's Day, ended up being a ceremony for Michael's energy. And I have a very big journey coming up. Me and Kath, Starlight, is taking a group of people to Ibiza, which is a light journey. There's going to be a huge amount of energy work happening, and my energy body is going to be working really hard for this journey. And what happens in the run-up, and that's in May, so it's really soon, early May. And so what happens when I've got loads of big energy work coming up is I stop channeling in the way that I normally channel. So normally I would channel ceremonies, fully channeling, fully direct voice channeling and dimensional channeling. And this ceremony I really wasn't feeling like it was a good idea for my energy body, because my energy body's preparing for this big work in Ibiza. And so I was basically leading the ceremony as myself, and instead I was doing third eye channeling, which is much more subtle, it's much more co-creative actually. And because I was doing that type of channeling, it meant that I was also doing a lot of what I call synchronicity channeling. So I was letting the physical signs lead the ceremony rather than the energy coming through me and my guides. And of course we've got this rainbow fire, and so I take that as a sign because it's crazy and it's undeniable, and I start to work with rainbow energy. And as this ceremony goes on, the rainbow colours in this fire get more and more extreme and vivid. And even though everybody in the circle believes in energy and in miracles and magic, all of us are getting a bit left brain about it. We're like, okay, there is definitely something going on in this fire. And Kath, who is so much more left brain than me, is looking at the fire, and she's just like, no, there's something in the wood, like something is going on. And eventually she sees that there is this packet inside the fire, and somebody recognized, you can just make out the name because the fire's like pink and blue now, and somebody recognizes the name of the packet and sees the name and says, I know what that is. That's a chemical that creates color in fire. And me and Kath have never even heard of this thing. We're like, how did it get in the fire? But we're like, clearly it was meant to be, because we would never put that in the fire because it's a chemical, and you know, we're all about natural. Even the wood we use for the fire is from a tree that was blown down naturally up where Kath's parents lived, and Kath's dad chopped it up. And so we're all about kind of really natural fires. And so we never would have put this chemical catalytic changing thing in. We're like, did it accidentally get into the wood? How has it got there? This is so random. And eventually after the fire ceremony, we think we work out who it is. And the person that put it in did confess to me this morning that he snuck it in to make the fire ceremony more magical and more beautiful. And I decided to make this video because it doesn't make the miracle of the rainbow fire any less real. And I think that's so important to explain when you're talking about synchronicity, when you're talking about third dimensional miracles, which are so integral to everybody's path. And the reason they are still miracles is because when it comes to physical synchronicity, which is basically when signs show up in your life, when arrows point you in directions, just like the fire pointed me towards doing the rainbow. The miracle isn't how it was created. It isn't that you know, Archangel Michael suddenly manifested rainbow fire, because generally with physical signs there is always a practical reason as to how that sign got there. You know, if you see a sign on somebody's t-shirt, somebody chose to put that t-shirt on. If you get an animal sign, that animal is walking its path and crossing in front of you and has its reason for being there. If you find a plastic sword, which is a Michael sign, in the middle of the forest, and you know, and you feel that it's because Michael's called you, a kid probably did leave that plastic sword there. But the miracle is the divine timing of it. The miracle isn't the reason it came into being. The miracle is that it happens at exactly the perfect moment and that you see it. And that's what living by signs is. And that's what living by miracles is that you see it and you listen to it and you respond to it and you let it lead you, and you start to dance with this ancient conversation of signs that is the universe. And that is the miracle. And that is especially for me, when I'm not doing the kind of big channeling where my guides are taking over, when I'm doing the channeling that is really co-creative between my heart and the universe, those signs are essential to me. Those signs have served my path so much, from when I saw loads of wolves and ended up connecting to the wolf mother goddess who was so integral to my path, to when we saw loads of dolphins and ended up manifesting dolphins in Ibiza last year. Like, the miracles come out of you following the signs. That rainbow fire healing, which I got the inspiration for because somebody's higher self knew to put that rainbow thing in the fire. It did so many things. It led to a rainbow activation that has created this diamond energy in my chakric system and in the chakric systems of everybody there, and energetically I could see the shift happening, and would I have thought of it? I don't know. But did I respond to the sign? Yes. And I responded to the sign because somebody's heart took action to put that there. And the miracle is the divine plan, timing of it all, that it was this fire ceremony that somebody decided to put that rainbow energy, that rainbow symbol into the fire. And it was so perfect because it was, you know, Michael, I usually work with white light and white energy, and so I needed to know about this rainbow, and the universe sent it in the most beautiful way, and the wonder that it created opened everybody up to receive the healing on a deeper level. And that is the miracle. And I don't know if you saw, but I just had a pigeon fly down, and it reminded me that the other thing that happened at the end of that ceremony, as this rainbow activation was happening, is this bird, and we're not even sure what bird it is, but it's not a Brighton bird. It wasn't a seagull, it wasn't a pigeon, it wasn't a starling, and it wasn't a crow, which are the main birds that we get around our roof in Brighton. It was smaller than all of them, and it was this little black flappy thing, and it flew into our circle and flew out, and it was so significant that everybody was like, whoa, like it brushed Kath by the ear. And again, that was my sign that we needed to fly. We needed to fly up out of the healing place that we were in. And that's when the activation really started to happen, when I started to focus on the word fly that was gifted to me by the bird that flew in to our circle at exactly the right time and exactly the right moment. And that's what lifted us up into the activation and lifted our energy up to where it needed to be to receive that activation. And that bird had its own reason for flying across the fire. Sorry, there's a pigeon flapping about. Don't know if you can see her, but she's the one that's letting me know that the birds are also important. So that bird had her own reason, her own grounded third dimensional reason for flying over our fire. But the miracle is the divine timing that she flew at exactly the point that our energy bodies needed to start flying, and that I noticed it because my higher self made sure that I noticed it, and so that I started to speak the words that would help our energy body fly. And this is what living grounded miracles are. It's not expecting the unbelievable, which does happen occasionally, or the absolutely undeniable cosmic spirit. It's about recognizing the miracles of the earth, recognizing the miracles of the co-creative effort that is our path, that is this incredible divine grid of timing where everybody's just like, whoa, how is this happening, that everybody's there at the right time to receive the signs, to give the signs, to wear exactly the right thing. And you know what I also thought this morning was, wow, the most amazing thing for me, beyond even receiving the rainbow activation, which has so shifted my energy body and got me so ready for Ibiza, and I'm so grateful to it. The really other amazing thing that came out of that rainbow fire, that was a third dimensional miracle. It wasn't an energetic miracle. It was a third dimensional miracle because we embraced it with our hearts. Was that the fire had been burning for ages. And I promise you, it only started to come into the rainbow when I put the sage in for these two women. And these two women, I cannot express to you how important both of them have been to my path. they are such talented light workers, and they are both going through a shift in their path that is causing them physical problems. And you know, that's part of ascension. The physical body takes a lot of stuff when you're upgrading your energy body. And for one of them, when I spoke to her that morning, I pulled a card, and the card that I pulled has rainbow energy on it. So that morning I'd connected to her and I'd asked what I needed to know, and I pulled a card. And most of the cards in this deck are black and white, but the card that I pulled for her had all these rainbow colours, which were the exact colours of our fire ceremony. And as I put in the sage for both of them, the fire became rainbow. And that is the divine timing miracle, because that means that these women that I love and respect received the healing, because it happened at exactly the moment that my service to them, my love for them, was placed in the fire. Because really, synchronicity is about love. It happens when you're in service. When we do our Ibiza journeys and our other journeys, the synchronicity goes crazy, because there's a group of people with massive open hearts in service. And their hearts are so open, and their intention is to be of service. And so Gaia and the third dimension puts on a firework display of synchronicity that is undeniable. That is undeniable. Like, your third dimensional mind is like, whoa, this is unbelievable. And of course there's a reason behind everything in the physical, behind every leaf that drops, every feather that falls in perfect timing. But that's the whole point. The miracle is the earth. And I'd like to end this video by saying that, you know, you can believe that nothing is a miracle, or that everything is a miracle, and there really isn't anything in between. Because either you say, okay, yes, there's scientific reasons for why there is life on Earth, but those scientific reasons are miracles, and ultimately we live. And this isn't from me, it's from a post I saw on Facebook once, but I love it, because we live on a blue-green orb planet that floats in space around a ball of fire. How can we not believe in miracles? And when you believe in miracles, when you believe in magic, magic believes in you. And that is how you start to get signs and synchronicity. And those signs and synchronicity will serve your path endlessly and beautifully, because that's when you start listening and dancing with the cosmos, and listening and dancing with the earth, and following the flow of your path, and living, talking the language that is so much more ancient than any language we speak today. The language of your ancestors, which is to live by signs and in communication with the earth, and to live your path and see the miracles and the significance in everything that you experience, whether you understand the reason or not, whether you understand the science or not. You're living heart to heart with the earth, which is where your path is, and that's what's amazing about it. And my advice to you is, if you want to create signs in your life, if you want to create miracles, just ask. The minute you ask, the minute you open your heart and say, send me signs, send me miracles, the earth responds. The source, spirit, all of it starts to respond, and you start seeing it and living it. And you know what, I go as far as to ask for proof. I ask for proof all the time. I'm like, send me proof, send me in my face signs. I want it to be undeniable, and it works. Because by asking, you're opening, and you're opening your heart. And that's what you get, that's what you see. And so I really encourage you to do it, to try it. And every time your third dimensional mind starts to justify it, just say yeah, no, because it's an earth miracle there. There is a reason behind it. Be grounded with it. Be like, yes, there is a reason behind it. But that doesn't not make it a miracle. that doesn't not make it beautiful. That doesn't not make it a sign and significant and something that you should listen to because it stirred your heart. So much love to you all. Thank you for listening to this video, and may you see rainbow today, rainbows every day of your life, and may you one day see a rainbow fire. It's quite an amazing thing. So much love to you.